Okay, so welcome back. This is episode 13. We'll be looking at loops. Loop. Loops will repeat a piece of code repeatedly according to certain conditions. A loop should have when to start, stop, and how to get to the next item. So we'll be looking at loop. Okay, let me give you an example where loop is quite important. Let me look at a particular website. Let me see. Is it on Granny page? Let me check. Shorester.com. Okay. Let me check for, let me say, bags. Let me click on bags. Okay. So you look at this now. This is a list. We have black, violet, maroon, brown, pink. So something like this, instead of you typing them one after the other, you can simply loop through it and you have all this. So like now, look at this list of products now. Okay. So you have this list of products. You can start doing this one after the other. You are going to loop through this and display them. Okay. Loop is very, very important. Very important. So just like we did in our array, remember our array? Okay, you can, this is the array. Like this now. Array where we have apple, banana, orange. So instead of you typing them out one after the other, you can easily simply loop through this. Okay, you can simply loop through this and you get your result. So I'm going to show you how to loop in JavaScript, which is also similar to other programming languages also. So for loop, let's start with the simple one, the simplest one, the for loop. Let's look at for loop. For loop now. So this for loop, I'm going to use it to create times table. Is it times table? Times table. Yeah, times table. Okay, so where we have 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 2 times 1, 2, till you get to 12 times 1, 12, 12 times 2, 24. So just imagine you trying to create such a thing. Then you are doing this. Let me say console dot log, and I'm doing something like this. 2 times 1. I don't want to use a loop now. And I say 2 times 1. And I say 2 times 1 equals 2. Then I'm doing something like this. 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 3. And I'm doing it manually like this. You know, when I'm done with this, I have to do 3 times, do 4 times. And you see the lines of code I'm going to write to achieve this. So now let's refresh. See what we're having. 2 times 1, 2, 2 times. You can see this is manually done. That means if you want to do 3 times, you do another one. 4 times, still you code, write, and you get tired. Okay. So that's not how to code. Okay. That's not a professional way to do it. That's not a professional way to do it. So I just see programming as a way of you not repeating yourself all the time. Okay, so if you are able to achieve something once, you should be able to replicate it instead of with just maybe with 2, 3 lines instead of you writing up to 100 lines. Let's look at this now. I'm going to use for loop to achieve multiplication. table. I'll just say for. I'll say let. Okay. So let's look at this now. For this is what the keyword for. This is the for loop. Then the for is going to have a parenthesis. Then you have what curly braces. So what is inside this parenthesis? We defined or we declared the variable I. This I stands for index number, anyhow you want it. So let I equals 0. This I could be something else. I can change it to X. It's just a variable. You get? I is just a variable. So I'm saying what? Let it start from 0. No, I don't want it to start from 0. I want our multiplication table to start from 2. Okay? Then where do I want it to stop? I want it to stop when it is less than 12. No, less than 13. That means it's going to stop at 12. But if I want it to be clearer to you, I can say let it to be what? Less than or equal to 12. Any of the two. I can say less than 13 or less than or equal to 12. Then this is what? Increment. So the first one is what? You declare the variable. The second statement here, you can see end it what? With a semicolon. Always remember, you end a statement with semicolon. The second statement is what? A condition. When should it stop? It should stop when it is less than or equal to 12. Then the third statement means that it should increment by 1. So that's the plus plus. Plus plus means what? It should increment by 1. If I want it to increment by 2, I can do something like this. I equals I plus 2. If I want it to increment by 3, I'll say I plus 3. But if I want to increment by 1, I can say I plus 1. But instead of me writing I plus 1, there's a shortcut to I plus 1. So the shortcut is what? Plus plus. Okay. So this is going to list everything from 1 to 2. No, it's starting from 2. So it will start from 2 to 12. So refresh. You can see from 2 to 12. That's it. So now let's say we want to multiply it by 1 by 2. I can then do this. I'm going to use the backtick. Then I'll say 2 times 1. Okay, so I can make it more. Let me make it look better. What should I call this? Okay, that'll be a result. I can call this const. Say okay, multiplier. 1, 2, 3, 4. It will always change. I can say let. Let me use let. I'll say let multiplier equals 2. You can say I can say let multiplier equals what do I want to do? Yeah, I can say multiplier, let multiplier equals 2. So inside this place now, I can say okay, then result. I'll say let result equals 0. Okay. So result will now be multiplier. So you can see it's clearer now. Multiplier times I. Okay, so this I is starting to start from 2. So this will be the that's multiplier times I. I prefer okay. I would prefer it to be like this. It's still the same thing, but just a bit of psychology. I mean, okay, multiplier should be okay. I think it's better like this. multiplier is static. So it will be 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, like that. Okay. So multiplier. So this first one is just going to show you that it is 2 times 1. No, it's going, let it start from 1. Sorry. Let's start from 1. Okay. So it will be 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4. Then we have the result here. So let's check. So you can see 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 3, 6. So we have everything to 12, 24. So if I want to do, let's say 11 times, I can say 11. Refresh. I have 11 times 1, 11 times 2, 11 times 3. Quite simple. What if, okay, let me just comment this. You can take a look at it later. I want to do a more complex one. So this time around, we have something like this. So I'll be using X and Y. Let me use X here. Okay, I can still use I and J. Okay, let me still leave it as I. I'll still leave it as I, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put another for loop inside this guy. And I say for. So the first one is going to give me 2 times 1 to 2 times. Okay. And the second one will give me this. This is another for loop inside the for loop. So this one is starting from 1. This one is also starting from 1. Okay. There's something I need to do here. Okay. So I think I need this result variable. I need it here. So it's not advisable to always declare your variable inside the for loop. You declare it outside and make use of it inside. Take note of that. Okay. So let's look at how this is. This is starting from 1. No, we want it to start from 2. I'll say 2. So it will be 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4. So when this is done, it will move to 3. 3 times 1, 2, 3 times. When this is done, it will move to 4, to 5. So let's check that. Very simple. So from the top, you can see I listed everything. Times 1, 2 times 2, 4. Then we have 3 times again. It moves to 4 again. Moves to 5, 6, 7, 2. We have 12. You can see how this is very interesting. If I wanted to do it up to 100 now, just like that. So just imagine you typing this manually. And you might even make mistake. Then you also waste a lot of time doing this. Refresh. You can see it's up to 100. 100 times 12, 1,200. 96 times. This is something you cannot do within a second. And we did that less than a second. Okay. So let me just take it back to our normal 12. So that's for loop for you. Then that's interesting. We can now look at array, how to loop through an array. Okay. That's why I don't loop through. Oh, okay. Let me just do the while loop. I don't usually use the while loop. There's no need for while loop. This while loop, you can go and learn it. I don't I don't even use it. Okay, because for loop and other loops can achieve what while loop can do. But I don't have time for that. So let's just do loop through an array. So that's what we'll just do. Uh, okay, we did something here. So let's just copy what we have here. month in Yoruba, I'll just copy this. So take this here, months in Yoruba. So now if you want to list all these months in Yoruba, it's quite simple. Just follow. Okay, so you can see it's starting from 0 because an array, as we've said before, counting always starts from 0. The index number 0, so I equals 0. So it's going to pick this. If you should say you should start from 1, it will start from this second one. Okay, so when you're counting elements in an array, you must start from 0. Then the condition should always be that the length, the total elements in this array is 12. Okay, so since you are starting from 0, then the index should be less than the total size, because the total size is 12 and you are counting from 0. So when you start 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, when you get to 11, it's already 12. So it will be less than, we're not going to be using equal to here. So it will be I less than month in Yoruba dot length. This dot length means that it's going to give you the size of the array. Then we increment it by 1 so that it picks from 1, it moves to the second one. If you say increment by 2, it will jump this second one, move to the next one, jump the next one, move to the other one. Yeah. So, but now we are saying 1, 1. It should increment by 1, so it will pick each of them. So then it lists everything down here. So I'm going to refresh this. So you can see Oshushare, Oshuyerele. So it's going to list out everything at once instead of you typing them one by one. Okay, so that's how you can combine it with an array. And then what's this? All right, so let's look through an object. So we did object also, so let's copy the object we created here. We created an object here. Loop. Okay, so we'll try and loop through this. So to look through an object, we are going to be using this particular one. So we won't be using let I or stuff like that. We'll be using let key in person. So this is the declaration. I say key. When you say key, we are talking about the index. Okay, key and index are similar. Key in person. So that means first name in person is John. Last name in person is Doe. Age in person is 13. So you have that. Refresh. Okay, so you can see it listed everything. First name John, last name Doe, age. Children, because it's an array, so it's going to give you the object. So for you to get this, you have to loop through these children also to achieve that. Okay, so let's do something like this now. Children is showing object. Okay, so if you want to look through these children, we can simply do something like this. Say if person aquatic key, I can just say something simple. If key is equivalent to children, if key is equivalent to children, oh, I will say else, and do this. If key is equivalent to children, you can come here and do something like this. Okay, so we can have this key here. Then we will now loop through it. Exactly. So we can say let child key in. So we are like repeating what we did here, this particular one. But this time around, we are doing it for an array, for an object inside this object. So we'll now loop another one. Let child key in person this key. Then we'll have this. Okay. I think I might not need this again. Okay. So let's refresh. So you can see that for children, it listed it as son Michael, daughter Emily. So you can see what we have: a child key, double colon, then the value itself. So if you look at how we doing, why are we doing person inside key? Now remember how we usually access how we access objects. We either use square brackets or use dots something. Okay, so that's simply that. We've been able to look through this. We can also look through this car since it's an array. Or we should just leave it. I believe you already know how to look through an array. Or should I just do that also? Right here, I can say else. We've done conditions before, so this should not scare you. So we can say else if key, okay, is equivalent to cars. We can say, remember the join we did then. Okay. So you have that. Married first, cars, BMW, So looping, very, 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 very simple. What else should we look at? I'm not doing this file. So let's look through arrays of objects. Okay, looping through arrays of objects. You can simply do this. This is an array. These objects 1, object 2, object 3. Quite straightforward. First name John, last name Doe, age 30. So this is what an array of objects. We can also loop to array of arrays. Arrays, or may I say multi-dimensional array. Okay, so look at multi-dimensional arrays. I want something more descriptive. Multi-dimensional arrays. What can I have in a multi-dimensional array? Okay, we can replicate what we to have at the top here. We have John Doe 30. Then we have Jane. Then we can have another one. Say Michael Johnson. So looping to a multi-dimensional array, we can also do this. Okay. So looping to a multi-dimensional array. Okay, so that is it. So just pause the video, watch this, repeat, repeat, and repeat. By the time you repeat it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you understand it better. Then let's look at another way of looping. So we've been using for loop. So this time around, we want to make use of which one? For each. For each. Let's make use of for each loop. Okay. So for each loop, this is quite I know a lot of people prefer using this type of loop right now, but it's quite straightforward now. So what you do is you have your array here, okay? So you call the name of the array, which is fruits. Then you do dot for each. That's for each of the elements in this array. Okay. Then you create a function. This is a keyword that has to be there. So function. So fruit. This fruit, I can give it any name and it will still work. Okay. So let's check. Refresh. We have apple, banana. So that you don't get confused, I can give this any other name. I can say a value. I can say value and it still works. Okay, we have Michael, apple, banana. So it doesn't matter. So just that anything you put inside this place, if I put A, I must put A here also. Okay, it should still give you this. So anything you put inside this place, you must also put it here. All right. So let me the other values you can check. Let's just check what we have here. But most times you only make use of this value that is here. But I just want you to see everything that is inside this function. Value index array. Just see. In case you want to make use of the value, or you want to make use of the index, or you want to make use of the whole array itself. So refresh. You can see. Start from okay, so we don't lose track. I can just say console.log using for each loop. Where is it? Using for each loop. Okay, you can see it shows us what apple. The second one, index number is 0, then everything array. I don't think we need the array, okay? Because we already have it here fruits, unless you want to do something with it inside this function. So you don't get confused. I'll just comment this out. Then the index number is going to give you the index number 0, 1, 2, 3. In case you want to do something with it, maybe you want to say if index number is equal to 2, do this. If index number is equal to 5, do this. You get. Okay. So, but since we don't need it, you can just comment it out. We just want to list all the values without any condition. So refresh, we have everything. Apple, banana, cherry, date. That's it, using what? For each loop. Quite straightforward. Then we have the map loop. Map works almost the same way as the for each loop. Okay, it works almost the same way as the for each loop. It's just that this returns, yeah, it returns the whole value. It's the function, the method, okay? It returns the whole value to a variable and you can output it outside. So what this does now is saying the value, just like we have it, a value index, value index array. Just the same way we have it at the top there. Okay, I'm just putting it there so that you can be aware. The only required value is the first one. The other ones are optional. But I'm just leaving them here so you know that something like this exists. So what we are doing with this is that we are saying value times 2. So 1 will be times 2, 2 will be times 2, 3 will be times 2. Or you can just list them without doing any multiplication. It depends on you. So this return keyword, we've not yet done function as a whole, so you might not really understand this return, but I'll just explain. When you say return, what it does is any value that you get here is going to return it to this variable, because this is inside the function. It returns it to this function and is assigned to this variable. So we are logging it out. Refresh. So it has what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it's going to double each of the number. That's how it works here. We can also, this for each and map, you can use it to loop through this month in Yoruba. You can use it for it also, instead of, okay, using for loop. Now for the for loop, you have to start putting where you should start from, putting the condition, how should it increment. When you're using map and for each, you don't have to stress yourself putting condition, where you should start from, and all sorts. So these ones are quite straightforward and easy to use. So all these things are very, very important. If you don't know them, you are in a long thing. Okay. I think these are the major things I want to teach you, but let me include one more: filter. Yeah, filter loop. So you can use this filter loop to filter out things you don't want, or things, yeah, that's how it is. We have value index array. They all follow the same format. So what is just changing there is this one is for each, this one is a map, this one is a filter. They're just changing. That's it. So we can easily return. Okay, we are using these numbers. We can easily return only value. Do you get that? But yeah, we can only easily return value, but we just want to add more things to it so you can learn more. Now, this is uh I've forgotten the name of this thing. Okay, this is not percentage. Yeah, this is percentage, but it's a symbol. We call it. We give it there's a name we call it. But once you use it, what it does is that it's going to get the remainder. So if this is 2, it will say 2 divided by 2. Remainder what? Is going to remain 0. So 0 is equivalent to 0. So this will be true or false. So what it's doing here is returning uh okay, now let's even analyze it. So let's say 2. 2 divided by 2 is what? 1. It remains what? 0. Is 0 equivalent to 0? True. So it's going to return 2. So that means 2 is an even number. Then move on to 3. 3 divided by 2, that's 1. It remains what? 1. Is 1 equivalent to 0? False. So it's not going to return 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 again is 1. It remains what? 0. 0 is equivalent to 0. 2. So since it's 2, it's going to return 4. Okay? So that's how it works. That's filter. Refresh. So it's going to return 2 and 4. If you want to get the odd number, okay, so find out how to do the odd number on your own. It's actually simple. What you just need to do is to change something here and you get your odd numbers. I think there's this reduce loop. Okay, I think that's how I'll just stop. Don't let me overload you with a lot of information. But with this, you are good. You are good to go. If you understand this very, very well, you are good to go. Okay. That's all. Oh, is that all? Yes, that's all. Thank you.